Yo, what's up, comic compadres? Welcome back to the Hoodrat podcast. We're going live tonight. We're going live every other Monday with the Monday Comic Jive. And I got my boys in the house, man. I got my homies in the house. They're joining me. These are my co-hosts, my panelists for this live show. I'm gonna bring him in. I'll bring him in. My boy from Oakland. What's up? What's up, my shift?
What is up? What's going on?
What's up, man? How you doing, bro? How you living, bro?
Pretty good. It's I got a broken spoke this today on my bike, but I got it fixed, so I'm good and rolling.
All right, man, that's cool. Then I got my other boy, man. He's out here in SoCal in the OC, man. He's my brother from another mother, and that's Jaw. Jaw's in the house.
What's going on, everyone? How you guys doing?
Good, man. How you doing, bro? How's life out in the OC, bro?
Hey, it was a beautiful day today. Little cold, but it was a beautiful day.
Yeah, man, we can't complain, bro. We can't complain out here in Southern California, bro. No, when I see the ice storms that's happening on the East Coast, man, I'm like, oh damn, exactly. Right? Like they haven't
I'll deal with some earthquakes.
Yeah, man, I know, right? So we got our boy, we got Ace in the house, man. He's the first one to ever comment on this show, man. Hopefully, we get more comments and more viewers as we move along with this show. Every other week, like I said, it's a comic book jive, and we do two different segments. We might even add another segment. Our first segment is called Trending Not Trending. And that's just books that are not on your top 10, books that you may not even be thinking about or looking at, but they're books that actually have some numbers and there's like a really good value behind them. Or we're just going to show you books that we have for our own personal taste that we actually want to see the taste on. Like my boy Jaw, he's going to show some pre-code book today. He's gonna kind of talk to you guys what pre-code means for everybody, right? What is a pre-code? Educate us. And then we got Dan's corner. Dan comes on after Trending Not Trending, and Dan's just gonna educate us all. We don't even know what Dan's gonna talk about. Like I told Dan, don't tell us because we want to be surprised, man. I like to be surprised, and Dan's gonna surprise us all, man. But first off, man, before we start, man, why don't you guys share? If I do this right, and hold on real quick, guys. So we have beta. This is our first time doing this. So we're gonna. Why don't you tell us where we can find you at, Kurt?
Comics on the Mind, aka Mindshift. You can find me on Instagram as Mindshift. It's where I post all my comic books and just random stuff. But my YouTube is Comics on the Mind. It's right there. Bloop.
Bloop. Yep. I'm going to share another screen because that's not the screen I wanted to share. I'm going to share it full right here. But there you go, man. Mindshift. So
I do. I do a show every Wednesday called Not Near Mint. Ace, they are a part of the Not Near. They identify as they and them. They are a part of the Not Near Mint crew. I'm sure Rob will roll and Lady Fantastic will roll in a little while. But yeah, we do that show every Wednesday. We interview awesome upcoming Kickstarters or just indie shows, indie books, and we do this segment called Comic Book Therapy, where we just show our books that we get every week.
Oh man, I love Comic Book Therapy, man. I tune in there all the time.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Rob's in the house.
Not Near Mint's in the house, and then and you got your YouTube channel too, man. Look at you, bro. Like let's try to get Comics on the Mind to 500, man. Yeah, 430, bro.
I'm almost there.
Almost there, man. Every day you're like, oh dang, you get one, then you get two. Like I'm like 68 or whatever, 58, 68 less, 68 more, and I'm there, right? Like every time you get a certain number. But,
I think once I start doing more edited videos, like I'll get more views for sure, or more followers for sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. And then John, where can they find you, bro?
So I'm on IG, Comic Book Crackhead. That's me, and I'm not doing any whatnot yet.
That's all of us, bro. We're all
pretty
much
crackheads. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If you're a collector, you're a crackhead of comics. That's right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Hopefully soon, whatnot. But right now, it's just all IG.
Yo, and now when Jaw starts this whatnot, you guys want to jump on because Jaw got the books, man. Jaw shows me books every day, and I'm like, damn, bro, like he got heat, man. You can see it right here. Look at all the heat he has here.
If
Look
you
at all
put
the
up
heat.
some Silver Age goodness, I'm definitely gonna, or some Bronze Age goodness, I'm definitely gonna be there.
Even some Copper Age, man.
All right.
Yeah.
Copper Age has been, Copper Age stuff is getting hot too, man. It's crazy, Copper Age stuff, man.
People can't. Silver Age is getting more expensive. That's why.
Silver Age is out of reach, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, Not Near Miss says we do indie books because we're indie people, man. And then Ace is like, I'm most of indie person and indie hipster hair flip. There you go, man. So our first segment is we do trending, not trending, and these are books that are not on your top 10. Books are probably not in your top 20. Just books that we're seeing that are trending up because of reasons unknown, and we try to dig in there together to figure out what's going on with these books. Or we could just be showing you books that we actually like and we want to let you know about because they're books that are not trending at all that should be trending, and you want to get on it before that purple Yoda alert. And if you don't know what that purple Yoda alert, you need to go back to my last hashtag show, and you would know what that purple Yoda alert. Because when that purple Yoda alert comes up, that means you missed that book, and that book's going to be out of reach. So take it from us. We got some books for y'all that y'all want to jump on before the purple Yoda alert. And that was coined by my boy, CMS Vet over on his YouTube channel. Let's get it started, man. So my first pick right here is this Mockingbird #1. And as you can see, the trending price right now, according to cover price, is about $10. It says that the current trend is about 12.94%, but we're going to debunk that real quick. So the raw fair market value of this is actually $14.75, but they don't have a graded cost to it right now. I think that this book is jumping up in price because Bobby Morse, right? Like everybody is getting priced out of that Astonishing Tales #6, and people are getting priced out at Marvel Team Up #95. So like they're trying to jump on what happens usually, right? You guys can tell me if I'm wrong. What usually happens when people are priced out of like these first appearances? They go to the very first run. The run, right? The second appearances. Or the runs, right? Like we saw that going on with Gamora, right? We're seeing that going on with the Swordmaster because it usually has the origins, and who knows, man? People really love that.
Moon Knight as well.
Moon Knight too, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Everybody's jumping to Fist of Khonshu, man, and Mark Spector, and those books were
no book, nothing.
No books, bro. Like
I bought those for $2. $2,
bro. Before that, that #2 Fist of Khonshu, man, went nuts, bro. I was at a dollar bin and I saw all the Moon Knights up in there, all the Fist of Khonshu. I went there, right? I went there this weekend. They all gone, bro. All the Fist of Khonshu, all the Mark Spectors are gone. But this is what I'm saying, man. Like, there's a lot of good Punisher team ups. Like in the Punisher Warzone and Punisher, like you might want to jump on those too, man. Because I'm hearing Punisher might be coming back. But anyways, let's go back to this. So Mockingbird, right? So this is her first solo run, and everybody's jumping on this because of what happened in Hawkeye, right? Like everybody's kind of specking that his Clint's wife was Bobby Morse.
Yeah,
you're right. So let's see what's going on with this book, guys. So we know where this is all coming from, and we see that cover price is calling in negative 13% on this, right? But actually, if you can see this right here, like August, October, November 2021, this wasn't selling at all. December, this thing went off, man. It kind of went off. Right? It kind of went off in December because what was going on in Hawkeye, and then it just blew up in January. So if we call this right, there's about like 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. We have 14 sales in December, and then we have 5, 10, 14, 18, 22, and 22, 26. So we're up at 500% on this, right? I would say about a 200%. We're up 200% rather than that 12.94%. And this price is like we said, the trending price on this is actually not bad, right? It's about $14.75. And if we look on here on cover price on the raw sale data, you can see that you can actually get this for $4, maybe $2. Somebody sold for $2. Recently, someone got this for $1 on the 20th, $2 on the 20th. you know, and then someone, you know, prices up now around like $11, you know. But again, like like we told before, like, you know, like if people can't afford these books, right? I'm gonna show you these ones right here. Oh, what? Let me back up. So if I was to buy this book, I wouldn't buy that cover A. I would buy, for me personally, I buy this hip hop book right here. You know, it's hip hop cover. This Mockingbird, Mockingbird is Queen. Do you guys remember what this is homage to? To which album? I should have done my research, but because I don't have this book.
I was just about to ask because I was curious too.
Yeah. No, I mean, but I don't have this book in my hip hop collection. I don't think I've ever even seen it, man. You know what I'm saying?
This is one I've never seen before.
Have you seen this before, Ja? I mean, you do hip hop covers too.
Yeah, it's in one of these boxes around
This
here.
is what John got this one. John got this one. So this is a book that I would actually get because I try to collect all my hip hop covers. And then let me see here. And then but these are the books you might want to save up for instead of getting these first solo runs. So you got Astonishing Tales number 6. This is a Kazar and Dr. Doom. This is the first appearance of Bobby Morse. And then you have, the first appearance of Mockingbird in this Marvel team up number 95. I saw this one going for about $100 at a small con. And this one's about a $125 book right now. At Raw, I would say. Yeah.
Astonishing Tales was going for $100 at a convention.
At a convention, man. I should have bought it, but I bought other things. Yeah.
That's cheaper compared to like the Marvel team up though.
Yeah.
It's the one I told you to come. Like I stopped by there at the little San Diego comic show here, and they had deals, bro. There was great deals there. Like, there was some good stuff there, man. Nice. But these are some books you might want to grab. Let's see what's going on over here in the chat. Let's see what's up with the homies in the chat. So Not Near Mint goes, even though we talk about a lot of indie. Okay, you want to guys jump on Not Near Mint over there. Make sure you follow him over on YouTube. My trending, not trending, is everything released by Marvel and DC. Exactly. We talked about this a lot with my boy CMS Vet. Everything's a key nowadays because the first Miles Morales UF4 is $3K. Every relaunch issue number 1 is now $100. That's the truth though. It's the truth because people can't afford these first appearances, so they're trying to get the next best thing, and that's what I think this Mockingbird number 1 is. Everybody's just trying to get ahead of the curve, man. So with that, John, what you got, bro?
Okay, so this is something that I've been trying to chase Ahsoka's first appearance, right? Mm-hmm. And it's pricey. It's out there. So I started looking at, hey, what's her second appearance? Is the trend we were just talking about. How if you can't afford the first one, you're going to probably try to go for her second appearance. And this is her second appearance. It's a trade paperback actually, but it counts as her second appearance. And it's Star Wars: The Clone Wars. It's fairly reasonable still. I think it's a good pickup. I'm not trying to spec or call it out. I don't even do all that stuff and try to claim something. No. That's if you just connect the dots and read, or even go on the internet, you can find out what the second appearance of any major character is. And this one also has a variant it's the Target DVD variant. And I think we have a picture of that one as well.
Yep, we'll show that next. Yep.
Yeah, and so that what do you guys think about this one? I think this is something I would like to have.
I think a lot of people assume that Clone Wars number 2 is her second appearance. But it's actually her third appearance, right? Like this actually came out before. And these books are not that big; they're about this big. I have one right here.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah. I don't have that book, but I have
a similar book.
A similar size because let me see here. So this, let me see here. I'm going to give you guys an example. So this is a size right here. This is the size of these books by Dark Horse, right? And this is a comic book, right? So they're a little bit smaller, I think Bo-Katan's first appearance is in one of these as well, right, John? So
almost like those digest comics.
Yep. And it goes for that Boca Raton goes for like $300, $400 right now, man. So it's a lot of money, man. But I like this pick because I think like I said before, Jaw, I think a lot of people assume that Clone Wars #2 is hers, and they miss out on this.
I mean, knowing the comic market, I mean, it probably, some people might say it is, and some people might say it's not. And who knows? Who knows what CGC even says if they even graded something like this.
Right. And usually, man, a lot of good places to look for these are in old bookstores, or libraries. Libraries like a library. Usually, libraries have a little store in there. That's where I usually find my little Star Wars, Clone Wars, these little ones by Dark Horse, because I collect these. I collect them because I'm a Star Wars guy. But yeah, you might want to check over there, man. So the going price for this is like $25, right? The trend's up. It says 12% over on cover price. Let's see what's actually going on with the raw sales according to cover price on this one. It says like 3 sold, man. So this one is actually still a sleeper, bro. It's still a sleeper right now.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people know. Like, I actually checked on eBay, like the other day, on this one, because when you sent yours, Jaw, I didn't buy one yet, so y'all can go at it. I'm not gonna be that guy front buys, y'all, man. So I don't have it yet, but I will after this show, because I'm getting everybody we're giving everybody the chance. So I know you wanted to grab one too, right, Kurt? So
I definitely want to grab one.
It's a very decent price, man. $25 for the second appearance of Ahsoka. And we all know Ahsoka's coming, man. We all know Grand Admiral Thrawn is coming. We kind of know that. We kind of think Ezra's coming too. So good pick. I mean, great pick, John, man. And this is what we're telling. This is what the show's about. Things that are not the top 10, not the top 20, things that are affordable, and things that maybe you should be picking up because front end the purple Yoda. So and let's go back to the chat, man. We got Desired in the house, man. Desired's in the house. What's up, Desire, man? He was a jump on today, but he had to work all day, so it's all good, bro. We got you next time. My boy Uni X is in the house.
He passed out from the California gas prices. That's why he didn't show up.
Did, bro. All y'all are passing. You come to Cali, bro. You see how much it costs over here. He goes crazy. But we got Uni. He called out the hip hop variant that all 3 of us couldn't. So that's Kumo D homage. And then we have She Geek. And she says Star Wars is hot, and she says Ian got it all. I got some of them, not like Jaw. Jaw got most of them. Then we got my boy Plainclothes D, man, the DJ, my boy from Oakland. We got 3 people from Oakland right here. 3 people from Oakland right here. 1, 2, and then 3.
Oaktown, baby.
The G's, bro. The G's, girlfriend C, and then we got she get it while it's low. It's low. It's low, but Jaw's gonna show you one that's not on the low. That you guys might want to keep an eye on out in flea markets or out in thrift shops or out in secondhand stores, because I've seen these before. I've seen these, but Jaw showed me for the first time on this book. Show him, Jaw.
Yeah, so this is that Target variant that I was telling you. It comes in DVD packages, or it came in DVD packages, and it's a variant of that other book that we just showed. So it's and
that one
again something you could probably find at maybe like Ian said, a library, or maybe a garage sale or something like that, because I'm sure people bought this DVD. Maybe a pawn shop might have it. You never know.
Flea markets, man. Laney College Flea Market, bro. Kurt, because they have these at the they always at the flea markets, they sell DVDs like crazy for $1, man, because no one has a DVD player. So I'm always looking through theirs, and this is one that I'm going to keep an eye out, because that book right there, man. Look at that book. It's $124, and the percentage
is crazy.
It is, man. And then you look at the trending. The trend is not even that up. It's only at 2%. So this is a not trend. This is basically this trending, not trending book. And let's see what's going on with the raw sale values. So only 1 sold, man, in April. Or in April 2021, man. Nothing has sold since. So I don't know if this book is rare or people just don't know about it. What do you think? What do you guys think? People sleeping on it, man.
Sleeping on it.
Sleeping on it,
You know what?
man.
It's not a common thing. It's not a regular size comic book.
I would have never thought it would be in a DVD.
Right. So I mean that probably is one of the reasons why it's kind of a sleeper. Or but let the show come out. I mean, we all know she's going to have a show, so let the show come out, and then I'm sure these sales numbers we'll see a lot more of that.
I know we all lost our mind when she showed up in The Mandalorian. I know I lost my mind, bro.
I did. It was great.
And it was Rosario Dawson, bro.
know.
I was like losing my mind, man. Yeah. I had to clean up my room after that shit, bro. Like I was like, yeah,
just tossing things around. Oh,
yes, it's crazy. yes, jumping around, man. And what you got, Kurt? What you got for your trending, not trending, man?
So my trending, not trending, is Marvel Tales 106. This is basically a reprint of ASM 129, First Appearance of Punisher, which is a book that I have definitely, like, I'm priced out. I'm just going to be real.
No,
maybe one day I can trade and get, but I'm definitely priced out of that book. But this is, I own this book. I think actually Rob AOK'd this to me, I believe. And it's not an expensive book. Like right now it's what is it going for, like $65? But this is definitely something that's like it's within price range for collectors that want a Punisher book but don't want to pay like expensive prices for, like, his first appearance, or even like that first 5-issue or 5 or 6 issues mini that came out, those great Mike Zeck covers, which I want that first issue. But yeah, this is definitely one I suggest that people go for before it's, because Punisher's definitely, like you said, is we're talking backstage. Like, Punisher's definitely going to probably make a comeback. If Daredevil's back, then what other Netflix characters are they going to bring? Punisher's definitely one of those characters that's going to be coming to the MCU. So I would definitely be trying to grab this book if people have a chance to.
Hey man, people are priced out on these books, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ja.
No, I was gonna say I like this pick for for that reason, and I don't know about anybody else, but I like the red background. It kind of fits.
Me too.
No, I agree.
Like
Same
he's
here.
trying to shoot Spider-Man, and it just pops a lot better. Not to take anything away from the original, but this, I don't know, it just kind of pops a lot better.
I agree.
You guys, everybody will be surprised, man, that like facsimiles and reprints are going for are pretty hot. I think I put a Spider-Man #1. What was it? The Spider-Man #1, the True Believers. Like the first print, on my whatnot, thing went for $10. I was like, huh?
Yeah.
I just put it up there as like kind of, just there. I was like, okay. I was doing Saga versus Spider-Man, put that up there, and I was like, what just happened? I've seen the facsimiles for GSX go for like $25. I've seen the first Blade go for about $25 on other auctions. These facsimiles are crazy, are going up because people have given up hope, man. People have given hope by getting them silver and bronze keys, because I mean, for what sells a lot too is the 181. The 181, the first print facsimile. That one goes for about $25 now. I was with Angelo at cons, and I saw people just picking them up like crazy. This is $25. I'll take it. I was like, huh? People buying facsimiles for $25, but it's happening because I mean, who could? I mean, I can't afford a 129.
Collectors coming in like right now. Unless you got bank, like it's gonna be hard to get some of those, like you said, get some of those books.
It was surprising for me to see that ASM 1, because I thought it was just gonna go for $2. I kind of turned away and talked to my wife for a second, and I looked back like, what just happened, man? Like I was just there for y'all, man. So
yeah, man,
that's what happened, man. And then my next pick. Oh, let's see what's going on with this book. So, it's a trending, not trending. Only 2 have sold. There is rumblings that a Punisher that is going to be coming to the MCU. Just trying to figure out if they're going to bring that Punisher that was shown on Netflix. That rated R Punisher. I even heard rumors that Punisher might be black. We might get a black Frank Castle. You know what I'm saying? So there's all these different rumors about Punisher coming. So I think he's coming back, man. I mean, why not? Because he's a fan favorite. And why not get ahead of the Purple Yoda while you can? You know what I'm saying? So you know. And then my next pick is this. I saw this, right? So I saw this Daredevil, the Man Without Fear, number 187. This I would say this is Bronze Age, right? Bronze Copper, about Copper Age book, like
Yeah.
this is a book that I think we all have in our PC if you're a Daredevil guy. And I was like, why is this trending? The fair market value for this is about $17. The last one sold for about $3.26. So I kind of did a little homework, about this and try to figure out like why is this trending, because I'll show you guys what's going on. So this is the first appearance of the Chased, right? The Chase is actually like it says it's a mystical martial arts enclave founded by Izzo and led by Stick. They lived apart from society to a remote wilderness location in China that could be accessed to climbing the wall. And the Chase mission is to combat the Hand. Okay. So why are we thinking? Why is this trending? Right? Why is this trending? So I saw this picture come up, and I'm like, okay, so this is like the modern version of the Chase, right? And we see Iron Fist there, right? There's been a lot of rumblings about the new Iron Fist, and we all know the new Iron Fist is going to be Swords Master, right?
Yeah.
And my boy Uni X will pop in here, and he'll talk a little about this, but this is my take on why this book is kind of popping. Are they going to form, the Chase? Is the Hand coming back? Is the Hand coming back in the new Iron Man series? Is the Hand coming back in any other areas? But you could find actually this modern take on the Chase over here on this What If Daredevil versus Elektra. You could find that, but the original members were Master Izzo, Stick, Daredevil, Stone, Shaft, and Claw, and that's this one right here. Okay. But then I looked more into it, man, and there are rumblings again, MCU rumblings, and that's what basically Spec's all about, right? There are rumblings that the Chase may show up in Shang-Chi too. I'm saying that, like, could the Hand be in Shang-Chi too? I think we're gonna have Daredevil before Shang-Chi too. You know what I'm saying? So could Daredevil show up in Shang-Chi too? Daredevil's probably gonna show up in She-Hulk. So we have all these things. So it says here, like, Elektra might be showing up as a member to introduce the Chase, right? So there's all these rumblings. This is coming from a Hollywood reporter. So you have all these different rumblings going on about the Chase, and then we're seeing this, right? So as you can see, it was pretty steady book. September, October, November, and December, but in January it kind of went nuts. It went nuts. I think it's up about 200%. 200% right now in January. So this is a book that you can actually get for like $3, $4, $5. Somebody paid a 9.6 is going for $50. And then a 6.5 actually went for I think that looks like a raw 6.5 went for about $3. So I mean, it says here, the book is actually going for $71 and $3.26. That's average of $17 with a 9.6 at $60. So what do you guys think, man? Do you guys think this is a book that people should be kind of moving to get?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, with Elektra, with Daredevil, you got to have Elektra, right? It doesn't make any sense, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so moving towards that, this might be a good book to get. So, and then
I actually, go ahead. Before you go on, the Daredevil, man, even if you've never read that series, the Frank Miller series, it's one of the best series that I've ever read.
Yeah,
of Daredevil. And then, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, that's like the Daredevil I read as the Frank Miller.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great series, and it's a white cover. By now, after almost 40 years, I'm sure there's some copies out there that are dirty, might have some spine ticks. So how many really, 9.6, 9.8s are there? I guess we could check, but it'd be kind of interesting to find out.
Yeah, but that's one thing I forgot to say is that it is written by Frank Miller, and that whole run is just sick, man. It's a sick run. But Shigik has a question, man, about that ASM 129, the reprint. That's considered a second print. That one right there. Yeah. That you present. That's a second print of the 129. And then we got Comic Ozzy in the house, man. What's up, What's up, Ozzy? Coming straight from Canada, And what you got here, Jay? Ja?
Oh yeah, so Chamber of Chills. So I don't know what happened over the last 6-8 months. I kind of, really fell in love with pre-code horror. Pre-code, the code that comes on comic books. I'm sure everyone who's watching is a comic book, crackhead in a sense. And so I'm sure everybody knows what pre-code is.
What was the code anyway in
so-
the first place? It was like, what was it meant for?
So to curb violence and things like that in comics
nudity.
back in the late 40s, early 50s, kind of.
Yeah. So this is pre-code,
So-
right? Like this, anything went before
This
this,
is pre-code. Yeah, this is pre-code, and I just picked this one out of a bunch of them, and I just love the way that they the covers are. Some of the covers are just, it's gory, but you don't see those kinds of covers these days. And the only reason why I really wanted to bring this out is that in every show that I watch, the majority of the time everyone's talking about spec, and everyone's talking about the latest trend, and we rarely talk about Golden Age or pre-code comic books. So I just wanted to just bring this out to kind of give everybody an idea. If they don't know what pre-code is, this is an example of a pre-code book. The colors pop, the artists, the way that they do things is just different and unique compared to modern comics.
Yo, man, and you're dragging me down the rabbit hole, bro. You already see me get on my horror books, and I'm looking for these pre-code books. Man, you're like crazy, bro. Like, look at the prices on this one. This is $340. The average fair market is $75 with an asterisk. So that someone got that on that was probably a pretty low grade book. A 9.6 goes for $2,000, man. These pre-code horrors, bro. Like, if I think a lot. If you find these, keep them, man, and maybe press them and send them in, man.
That's what I was gonna say.
These are for the eclectic collectors like Jaw, man. Jaw's an eclectic collector. I always say that, man. He got a great collection.
I think horror books actually have gotten a resurgence recently with Something Is Killing the Children, Ice Cream Man, and Stray Dogs, things like that.
Yeah.
So I it's just another. If you're into those kind of books, stories are not going to be the same. I think modern stories are probably a lot better for all of us. And some of these older stories are kind of basic. Just like if you watched an older movie, it's not going to be. Some older movies are great, but yeah, exactly. So
they're aged,
but the covers are just outstanding to me.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, Kurt.
No, I'm saying that some of those movies are just aged, just like some of the stories and some of those older comics.
Yeah.
It's like watching old black and white horror movies, man. Those are the best, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah. Let's see what's good. Let's see what the trend is on this one. So yeah, like it's a trending, not trending. So you can actually get this. People are getting 0.5s for $16, $41 for 2.0, and $75 for a 2.0, man. So those are still pretty good prices for these pre-code books, man.
Less than 100, yeah.
Less than 100, man. So what you got? Mind Shift.
Well, I know this is definitely a book that's been trending in the past, especially with the What If series. But this is another book that I'm specking on. Just with with Fantastic Four coming, there's always that and Spider-Man the story of Spider-Man that's going to continue going. Like, there's always a chance of Spider-Man joining the Fantastic Four or teaming up with them, especially like. There's not just this book, but there's when he joins the Future Foundation as well. So there's always going to be like a chance of him, potentially joining, or teaming up with the Fantastic Four in the MCU as well. So that's kind of why I'm like specking on this one again. Plus, this is just one I want in my What If collection as well.
Hey man, I think it's great. I think it's a great pick, bro. I think it's a great pick, man. Like, cause it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen for sure, man. And when this happens, bro, that purple Yoda alert's gonna come, and this one's gonna be out of grasp, man. It won't be $232. It'll be $500. Like that. Conchu. Me and Jay were talking about like, that Fist of Conchu #2. We're like $1 book to $200 book.
Yeah, Rob told me about that one. I can't believe that because I'm collecting like those runs of. I've been collecting those runs of Moon Knight for a long time. I can't. Those were the cheapest ones,
right? The Fist of Conchu and the Mark Spectors, bro.
Yeah.
It's like those were the cheapest ones. Now they're gone, man. Not near mentions. What If is good for the name. The real buy should be issue number 10. Oh, the first Jane Foster Thor.
I will have that one day.
100%, bro. 100%. because we already know she's coming, man. Like, and people are sleeping on that too, probably. You know, we should check out the stats on that next week. The next one, man.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Let's remember that one, man. Let's remember. I want to see the stats on that one. And then let's see what the trend is going on this one, man. So yeah, it's a trending, not trending, man. It kind of blew up in August and September, then it slowed down in October, and it's kind of mellowing out, man. It's about, so in December it sold 4, and then we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So it's up about 300%, man. You know, in January.
It blew up right around when the show started, huh?
Yeah.
Yep. So good pick, man. I mean, I totally forgot about this one. I'm like, oh, you remind me to keep a lookout, because me, man, you know, I ain't gonna buy nothing on eBay, bro. I'd rather find that in the back bins or in the flea markets, man. So the next one, man, we got here is from me, man. So this is Star Wars Jedi Academy Leviathan, man. Leviathan, and this is this book was a trender back in I think it was back in like December of 2021, because we all knew that Grogu was gonna go with Luke and learn the Force, man. But if you guys didn't, spoiler, you guys might want to walk away a little bit, man. If you guys didn't watch the last Boba Fett, you didn't watch it, Kirk? Oh, you didn't watch it. So the last one and the last book of Boba, we had, it was all Mandalorian. It was like a Mandalorian show. It was just the Mandalorian. I think the last half of Boba Fett's gonna be Mandalorian, and he mentioned that he wants to go see a friend before he joins up with Boba to kick some ass on Tatooine, you know what I'm saying? So this book shot up. So as we can see here, right? So we're at it says negative 0.21%, and this is actually a $35. Last book sold for $35.
When did the series come out?
This came out, I think I'm probably I would say 2006, like around those times, like 2007.
I was fresh out of high school,
bro, man. I was finding
college.
I was collecting, all these books at Laney, bro. I was going to the Laney College. Bro, there was this one brother, bro, who had them, bro. I was just like, quarter, dollar, bro. So, and I was just a big Star Wars collector, back then. But this
Wars books blew up too.
Yeah, but this book is actually blown up because of what we said, because Kirk didn't, Kirk hasn't seen it, so I'm not going to mention it again, man. So it said it's not trending, right? But as you can see, this thing is selling like hotcakes. So this is all recent sales from yesterday. So there's 3 sales there, another 3 sales there, another 3 sales there, and another 3 sales there within the last like 2 or 3 days, man. So that's 12 sales. Going back to the it says the 25th, man, of January. So that's 12 books within the last 5-6 days. So this book is kind of going crazy. And my thing is, this book could come true, man. There's a couple first appearances in here. This is where we actually see Luke as the Master Jedi and an instructor. It's the first appearance of Kip Doran and first appearance of Karana T. You know what I'm saying? So who knows? Grogu's out there learning the Force, man, learning how to, push things with his mind and do Jedi mind tricks. Our boy Mandalorian is gonna fly out there and say hi. We just don't know. But according to, as you can see, according to our favorite data source, Cover Price, this only sold once in January on the 26th, and as you can see, there's been a dozen sales since the 25th. So if this happens, this is actually a trending, not trending. It hasn't been on a top 20 in a year. This might be a good book to kind of pick up if you can get on the low. You know what I'm saying? Because, dude, if he shows up and you have this actually has way more first appearances in here, because there's like 5 or 6 students Luke is teaching. This book could have major upside, so that's kind of what I'm looking at. I already have this book, so I'm not even tripping. But if you are looking for it, might be a good time to pick it up, because this is actually trended up to like $45 to $50 book. We could see one sold for $182. That was probably, I would say that was probably like a 8.0, 9.08 slab. You know what I'm saying? So that wasn't wrong, probably. But look at this is when it kind of blew up right here in December, January 2020. Because that's when when Luke showed up in The Mandalorian, and you could see the sales really trended up back then, but it kind of slowed down all the way through. So, but that is my pick. And Jaw, what you got, bro?
So fire!
So everyone knows X-Men, right? X-Men's coming. Yeah. Okay, so X-Men #1, of course, is out of range for a lot of people. And that's the first appearance of Magneto. X-Men #4, it's the second appearance of Magneto, first appearance of Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, and the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. And so, that's also gone out of range for some people on a high grade, that is. So now we're at #5. And #5 is the third appearance of Magneto, second appearance of Scarlet Witch. And we all know she's going to be in Doctor Strange.
Yep.
And she's already had one series already. So I brought this out only because people who are priced out of the 1 or the 4 can maybe go to #5 now and say, all right, well, this is at least the third appearance and the second appearance of Scarlet Witch. And not to mention if Quicksilver ever makes an appearance back. So I just thought this would be a cool Silver Age. I wanted to highlight a Golden Age, a Silver Age, and a Modern. So that's why I brought this one out.
I like the pick, man. I love it, man. Show me some Silver Age books, bro. You always get a smile from me, man. But let's see what this is going. So we see it, man. So last recorded sale was $720. So the price is actually going up because they say the fair market value is $512. And a 7.5 went for $1375. So damn, remember we used to talk about that, man. Like I don't want to get, if I always had this argument with some of my friends. Like I don't want to. I would always ask them, man. I want to get the 6.0. Like, nah, if you get a 6.0, then you want a 7.0. Then you get a 7.0, you want an 8.0. I wish now I would have got those 6.0s because I don't even have them because I was thinking like that, Because look at the 7.5s, bro. $1,300, man. Like. It's low grade's better than no grade, and the low grade's actually better is priced good and pricing a lot of us out of it. So let's see what's going on with this, man. So you guys can see here, it's kind of it's a steady mover, man. There's been a lot of sales in January though. November there was 3 sales. In December there wasn't any log sales, man. And that's kind of what's been happening, man. December there wasn't a lot of people weren't buying books because they were shopping for Christmas presents or getting ready for Christmas. And then the groundhog came out the cave, bro, in January, and people were back buying books, man. You know what I'm saying? So but what you got, what's your final book over here, Kurt?
My final book is a book that's been on my list for a while, a book that I might, just like everybody else should, run out and grab. It's Fantastic Four, the annual #6, first appearance of Annihilus. Fantastic Four is coming. We already have a multiverse created. We're gonna eventually, if we get like other places like the Negative Zone, we're gonna get Annihilus. So it's only a matter of time before he's introduced into the MCU, and the prices for this book are definitely high. But you can still find an affordable copy out there. We're not priced out yet, so run and grab
low
this
grade.
book if you can.
Look at that. Low grade's better than no grade. That's probably a low grade book, like a 6.0, 7.0, and then look what's going on. Look what happened to our last book, man. What Jaw had. So buy low grade's better than no grade for me, man. What do you guys think? So
oh yeah, if I can get a copy, I'm happy.
Me too. I'm happy, bro. And even if it's a low grade with these Silver Age books, they still pop, man. They pop like crazy, bro. Like whatever ink and paper they were using back then, man, just stands the test of time, man.
Put it in some Mylar.
Put in some Mylar, man. Let's see what's going on with the trend on this book, man. So look, man, it's Groundhog Day in January, bro. So December, sales slow down and things are popping back up in January 2022, man. I dig the picks, guys, man. You guys open up my mind again. We're doing this in 2 weeks, so just blow my mind again with all y'all picks, man. You guys picks are dope, man. So let's get back to the chat before we move to our next segment. So Knock Near Mint says the Fist of Khonshu 2 will be a 10K book 1 year from today.
No, a $10 book.
$10 book. Oh, $10. I thought $10 book in 1 day. Yep. Mark my words. You should be looking at Shadow Knight and Mark Spector 35 to 38. I agree with that. Me and Jaw talked about that too. Because why are you gonna bet on a villain, bro? Like, what, the villain gonna die at the end of the series and then he ain't never coming back? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Instead of you know, people were spending like $100 or $200 on a Fist of Conscience when they should be spending that $100 to $200 probably on like the first run of Moon Knight #1, right? I mean, it's a better bet, man. You know what I'm saying? And then we got She Geek. She said she's you know, I graduated high school in '96 too, man. We all old, bro. We old. We ain't old, man. We just young, man. We just keep getting younger too.
Yep.
And then Not Near Mint says I'm 1 year after. Oh, 97 right there. And then She Geek says cool. Says nice. So moving on, guys, we're gonna move on to our next segment, and that means we about to get educated, man. We're about to get educated by the man, the myth that is Dan Delatorre, man. What's up, Dan?
Gentlemen, good to see you. Our first episode of Dan's Comic Book Corner. I've been listening in to what you guys are talking about here. You guys are on the right track as always, and I just want to add to the flavor that you've set on the table this evening.
Hey, man. So I want to let everybody know that we don't know what Dan's going to present. You know, Dan, none of us know. We're all going to sit here and be good kids, good students, and we're going to listen to what Dan's going to preach and educate to us because
applesauce.
Well,
yeah,
there's a
man.
problem. I don't know what I'm going to say, so it's a surprise for all of us.
All right, man. Dan, it's all you. Let me figure this out. I thought I had it figured out real quick. There we go, Dan. There you go, man.
I like it. I'm Dan Delatorre. Welcome to Comic Book Corner. So many things to talk about, and I'm not certain where to start. So let's just start with the market in general as I see it. I've been a long-time collector, since the 70s. And I've seen the rise and fall and rise again of the comic book industry. I've seen it when it rose in the 70s and 80s, dropped in the 90s because of an oversaturation of comics, too many titles. The comics were getting too expensive and the storyline was changing, and then it's rose up again. Look at the amount of shows that are popping up. Ian Show, Newbie Show, Comic Tom, you know, the rest of them. And there's such an interest in audience. There's so much to talk about, and there's such a love for comics. It's a great time to collect. So what this segment is going to be, I'll just give you a flavor of the directions we're going to take here. First, let's talk about how we got here. How did the comic book market start? Back in the 30s, when this all started with Action Comics #1 for Superman, Detective 27 versus Batman, DC broke the mold with something that people had never seen in their life. Amazing people, incredible story, power, abilities that captured the imagination of the American public. Something I learned just recently, and that is how widespread comics actually were. There were so many comics that were produced on every genre: superhero, there was romance, there was some horror. Comic books were the largest medium in the country in the 1930s. It had a tremendous influence. There was another company that followed suit, a company that was called Timely Comics. Later, they were called Marvel. They countered with their heroes, the Submariner, the Human Torch, and Captain America. And with the spirit of patriotism, it was World War II. His red, white, and blue costume, plus that shield that's right behind me, that was Marvel's best seller. But they never, ever did catch up to DC. They were very much in a very, very distant second. But it is worth noting.
Dan will be back. We blame Comcast. He will be back. Watch. 3, 2, 1. There you go.
Yeah. Now, this is my quick little aside here. I love Comcast. I really do. You pay money for this, and yeah, these little interruptions are just If I had 2 cans in a string, I'd probably get better coverage. Anyway, back to the golden age rather. Everything was humming along just fine with DC and Timely or Marvel. But in 1954, there was a book written by a psychologist named Dr. Frederick Wortham, and it was called The Seduction of the Innocent. And he was profiling things like horror comics. You guys were profiling some of those just a few moments ago.
Yep.
Well, there was something that was going on in the mid-50s that society couldn't explain, and there was a rebellion of sorts. Children were speaking back to their parents, which was never heard of before. The World War II parents really didn't know what was causing it, or more importantly, what to do about it, because they didn't do that in their day. The best way to describe it was there was a movie called James Dean, Rebel Without a Cause. And you have the teenagers with the leather jackets and so forth. Well, that was a rebellion that just couldn't be tolerated because, again, the 50s was a very Victorian era. So Dr. Wortham basically pointed the finger of blame mostly at comic books because they were such an influence on younger people because they were geared towards younger people. And he didn't really focus so much on superheroes, but mostly, again, horror, and there was sexual content and so forth. And again, that wasn't tolerated back then. This book and the subject matter was so popular, it started a national conversation and even made it to Congress. There was a congressional hearing about this subject. That was bad news for the comic industry. Because when you work for the industry, you didn't make a huge fortune, you didn't make a killing. You were working and you were making a living. These companies, in large measure, couldn't fight what was about to come down upon them, which was censorship. And that's what formed the Comics Code Authority. They basically censored themselves in an attempt to salvage the industry. But it was a rough time for a number of companies, especially Marvel. A gentleman you've all heard of by the name of Stan Lee had 5 or 6 rough years. And then his wife, Joan, they had a very close, loving relationship. They had a conversation. And his wife said, look, if you're about to get out of this industry, which he was about to just give it all up, she said, you know what? You have nothing to lose. Go out the way you want to. Go down swinging, in essence. And he did. He sat down with Jack Kirby and the remaining team of Marvel that would later become the Marvel Bullpen. And he created the Fantastic Four in 1961, the Incredible Hulk in 62, Thor, Iron Man. He brought back Captain America. He created the Avengers, the X-Men. For the next 3 to 4 years, it seemed like Marvel could do no wrong. It was hit after hit after hit. All the brilliance that was Stan Lee and Jack Kirby had been bottled up for 5 or 6 years and then basically exploded into the early 60s, into the late 60s. Their success was so good, they did something that was thought nearly impossible at the time. They beat out the sales of DC Comics, which was a powerhouse at the time. Now, DC, after the government's, not speculation, but the government intrusion with this book, they were threatening all sorts of action against them, I suppose. They sort of kept their stories kind of tame. They weren't as good as the Marvel stories, which were more action-packed and more down-to-earth and more gritty. And I mention this because I think this is why the stories in the late 50s and early 60s weren't that great from DC. And it's hurting even today because now look at where we are today with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We're hoping that DC finally gets off the ground, but they can't because they don't have the core of stories that Marvel has. Marvel, with its incredible success, lasted all the way through the 70s and 80s with the Silver Age, which spawned the Bronze Age. And then the Copper Age, Marvel was a powerhouse. And what's behind me is decades and decades of script and storyline, which we see today in the MCU. When Disney purchased Marvel Comics, I say it will be the greatest purchase in entertainment history because by that purchase, they bought more or less 80 years of storyline, of dialogue. The costumes, the characters are already prepared for them. And all it takes is a talented team to put this on the big screen, which they found in the form of Kevin Feige and company. I mention this for a number of reasons. If you're a collector, you collect whatever you want, whatever makes you happy. That could be from Bugs Bunny to horror or sci-fi or whatever makes you happy. In large measure, it's superhero comic books. But if you want to weigh out how much you should invest, how much you want to put into this hobby, my strong suggestion is you stick with mostly Silver Age Marvel, and then Bronze and Copper beyond that. Now,
amen to that.
Regarding DC, I'm not a DC hater. I'm like many of you. I'm hoping DC finally gets off the ground. This may be a perfect time to start speculating on DC books, and I'm going to bring up one here that I brought myself. This is DC Presents number 26. Let's see if I get the lighting on this here. I'm new to this too, Ian, so you'll forgive me. What's the significance of this book? This is the first appearance of the new Teen Titans. It's still incredibly reasonably priced, and I equate this, I don't think it's a stretch to say this, to buying Giant Size X-Men 1 about 15 years ago. It's the Giant Size X-Men 1 was the first new X-Men with 3 new characters, Storm, Cyclops, and no, pardon me, Storm, Nightcrawler, and Colossus. This is the first appearance of the new Teen Titans. And it's the first appearance of Raven, Cyborg, and Starfire. These are incredibly reasonably priced. I paid $500 for this one. In fact, I made it on Comic Tom's top list because I paid more than everybody else did. That's how much I believe in this comic here. So, regarding Marvel, though, the Silver Age is incredibly expensive right now. If you haven't gotten certain grails, you've missed the boat in large measure, but there's one or two I'm going to profile right here. But you look at where we were from 2019 to 2020 and 21, there was an acceleration virtually straight upwards regarding price. We've leveled off, and now some comics are coming way down, mostly Bronze Age keys. She-Hulk 1 being one of them. That was way up there, and it's dropped, 70%. So same with Avengers 57, the first Vision. That comic is still cheaper than the West Coast Avengers White Vision, all because of the power and influence of the MCU, which I think there's going to be a correction. If you want to get your hands on an Avengers 57, now would be a very, very good time. But there are some books I want to profile here that you can still get your hands on. Case in point, there's a stigma when you buy CGC that a purple label is taboo. Oh, there's something wrong with it. It's got markings on it, whatever. I strongly suggest we all take a very strong second look at these purple labels, and here's why. This is Journey into Mystery Annual #1. This is the first appearance of Hercules. Now, this is a 4.5 white pages, and this says that there's minor color touch-up on this cover here. Now, I work with colors in my job all day. I've looked this up and down. I can't find where the color touch-up is. Now, CGC has machinery and technology to find it. It's probably one little spot somewhere on the cover, and it was enough to justify this purple label. But what I paid for this grail here, this will be a grail, $135. That's it. I mean, anyone would be proud to have this in their collection.
Wow.
A Silver Age book certified by CGC. We trust their label. We trust their judgment. But again, you have to be willing to not only look at lower grades, but the purple grades. And here's another one, probably a better example. One I never thought I'd get my hands on. That's this one here, Fantastic Four #12. The first meeting between Hulk and Thing and the Fantastic Four. It's a 1.5, what they call a parent 1.5. Now there's problems with this one. The top was what they say, it was trimmed. There's some tape on it. I don't care about that. Look at that. It still presents very well. It is a complete book. I paid only $300 for this.
That's beautiful, Dan. That's beautiful, man.
Books in this condition are $1,500 minimum. I've seen the ones that are $1,200 that are barely holding together. But again, I wasn't afraid to get the purple label, and I can say this is in my collection. But regarding collecting in general, like anything that you do, the more time you put into something, the more research, the more you're going to get out of it. And diligence and patience and saving your money is where it's at. This happens very rarely, but it does happen. And because it happened to me, another book I never thought I'd get my hands on is this one here, Avengers #4. This is signed by Stan Lee. It was a CBCS label. I only paid $650 for this. Now, I posted this on my Instagram. There was My Comic Shop, a very reliable source, had one of another 4.0 like this one, signed by Stan Lee. They wanted $2,800 for it. And it was one of those situations where I thought this is too good to be true. And I almost didn't buy it. They wanted $650. And I thought, well, all right, I'll take a guess. I mean, I looked at the front, the back label. It was not a reprint. I looked at the seller's history, and I did take a leap of faith. Buy it now. A week later, this shows up at my door. It's exactly as I said it would. But that's only because I looked. I was consistent. Today, if you posted this on eBay for that price, I don't think it would last 5 minutes. But you have to be willing to put the time and the research in on these. Deals are still out there. And, there's a couple other things I want to bring up before I bring up this last book here. There are stories that are about to come up, movies that are about to come up from the MCU. Armor Wars is one of them. there are so many armor-clad individuals. You need to think outside the box and look through your history regarding what might show up. One of the ones that's my personal favorite, and probably the most identical character to Iron Man in all of Marvel, is this character here, X-Men 31. This is the first appearance of a character called the Cobalt Man. Now, he emulated his armor exactly like Iron Man's. If there's anyone who has a close replica to the Iron Man armor, it's this character here. And I don't see why the MCU would tap into that character and any other. And you might want to get your hands on it because nobody's really looking at that particular book or that particular character. And even if it doesn't show up in the MCU, I personally don't care. I buy because I love storyline. I love the comics. Yeah, I like to see the value in my comic go up, but still, I buy because there's such a happiness that I have. And it's hard to express how happy I am having all these comics around me. It's a great medium. Two other examples, and then I will turn it over to you gentlemen here. The horror genre is greatly accelerated. And who is it? Swagelhaus, Newbie, and a few other guests were talking about Action Comics #1, Amazing Fantasy 15, and they put up this book as in comparison. Ghost Rider, his first appearance, Marvel Spotlight #5. Now, it wasn't that long ago that there would be those that would say, well, that book has no business being compared to Amazing Fantasy 15, or certainly not Action Comics #1, but there it is. The reason why was because 9.8 sold for about $250,000 here. This genre continues to move. And I still say there's a lot of money in this particular book. I think this character is far more powerful than is let on. And if you get the right actor, not Nicolas Cage, I still say that this is certainly worth putting money into. Now, I'm lucky enough to get this. I got this pretty early. It's a raw copy. And you got to be careful of the raw copies because I've made mistakes before. You buy it and you don't look through the book and it's missing a page or something's missing in it, and that will be your downfall. And you'll find out the hard way if you send it to CGC. One thing that we'll be profiling in this segment, well, there's so many things that we'll be looking into. One, news of the day. Two, tips on collecting, how to protect your comics, what you should look out for. And one that really stuns me because there's a few Silver Age Grails left. This will be next week's or next show's conversation. Fantastic Four 52, the first appearance of the Black Panther. I got this for a very reasonable price. I paid $500 as a mid-grade copy. I looked at the prices just before getting on the show. They're still incredibly reasonably priced. In large measure, I think it's because of the tragic loss of Chadwick Boseman. He was the perfect Black Panther. He really was. And we'll talk about this in the next show. But because that character is in flux, the cost of this particular book is remained at a very steady and low price. That if I had the money to do that, that would be the first place I'd go towards securing this book. That is an absolute key book. Once the MCU finally figures out what they're going to do with this particular character, that comic will explode. So that is my Comics Corner for this week. Any questions from the chat? You just let me know, or you can reach me out on Instagram. I'm happy to answer any questions. Yes, Mr. Kirk. And you don't have to raise your hand. It's not class, by the way. You are not an official class. You don't have to bring an apple or a teacher.
I did it on purpose to be funny. No, but there's a. I saw that you were showing the first appearance of Cobalt Man, and I collect old school Hulk, like Silver Age Hulk, and I remember running into like a Cobalt Man in there too. Is it the same Cobalt Man, or is it?
Yes,
like...
yes.
Okay.
That's a bronze. Well, I take it, but the one thing you need to. I'm glad you brought that up. That is Incredible Hulk 173, 174, which I have two very high grade copies for. That's when he bulks up. He changes himself. In this particular issue, he's just an average person. He's Ralph Roberts. That's the character, and he's an average man. He puts on an armor. In that particular book that you're referring to, he uses cobalt radiation, bulks up like the Hulk, and puts on like a Hulkbuster armor. The armor is much bigger and bulkier, and I thought he was an extremely interesting character.
Yeah, I liked him in the Hulk series for sure.
But that was
I didn't know he was from X-Men, so I learned something.
Me too, man. I didn't know that either. I was like, I think I need to get that book. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
It's still out there. The price is still pretty reasonable. And again, here's the thing with collecting. You know, I basically have my own private little comic shop, and I listen to all the other shows, and all of a sudden, a book will just pop out of thin air, like Hulk 156, the Bill Murray spec. I've got like 6 of those issues. Now, I had no idea Bill Murray was going to be the guy playing a very obscure character. I just got it because I love that particular story. So it's all hit or miss. It's a bit of luck, you know, if you think about it. It is luck. But you bring up another point. The 20-cent era is, what, in my opinion, that's where the Silver Age ends. It started with Marvel in 1961 with Fantastic Four. It ended in the 20-cent era, which is, I believe, 1973. Now, the funny thing is, today, there's no overseer. There's no one who says, hey, this is what is regarding the comic book market. When I was a kid, all you had was this, the Overstreet Price Guide. That was your Bible. When you were a kid, you went to a comic store or comic convention, you took this with you. There was no other reference. So whatever they said was literally gospel. Today, this is very much archaic. They never kept up with the times, and I'm stunned. There's no online presence. You can't talk to anybody there to ask any questions. And I have a bunch of questions for them, but they never respond to you. And so I mention that because the experts at the time said that the Silver Age ended in 1969 and the Bronze Age began in 1970. And I asked the question, why? What changed on December 31st, 1969, and why did the Bronze Age begin January 1st the next day? What, a new decade came upon us? No, an era, an era is an age or a flavor or a style. That style ended in the 20-cent era. I consider this to be a Silver Age character because the style was the same as the Silver Age. The paper quality was the same. Even the ink and so forth and the artwork was similar. When it went to this was the beginning of the Bronze Age, the 25-cent era. It was noticeably more modern. There was a more modern approach to this. And this is the beginning of the Bronze right here. It's in 1974, I believe it was. And one more bit of evidence I have to back up that theory as to when the Silver Age ended and Bronze Age began, the Marvel stamp. The Marvel stamp started in every last 20-cent issue of Marvel Comics. And the reason why was it was one of Stan Lee's brilliant little ideas to increase sales because he was increasing the cost by 20% from 20 cents to 25 cents. So he put in those little stamps. And it became a nightmare for collectors if you're going to buy something like this. And this does have the stamp in it, by the way. I made certain of that.
Gotta make sure that stamp, that's the first place I check, man, every freaking time, dude.
Look, I admire Stan and his creative business techniques. I don't think it was one of his best ideas because he even produced a book so you cut out the stamp and you have to fill all 100 of them out, sand it in. You got some
I saw one of those the other day. Yeah,
it was very short-sighted. Yeah, but
he's messing. Thank God for Stan's wife, but no, thank you, Stan, on the Marvel stance.
But he was a man way ahead of his time for a number of reasons.
He was, man.
When he and his team put together that absolute brilliance, he knew even in the 70s that he wouldn't make it if he just stayed in comic books. He left, I think, in the mid to late 70s to Hollywood, to Los Angeles, to start promoting what he had created in the 60s. And it took decades, but he finally succeeded with the MCU. Had he not left all those years ago, I dare say we wouldn't have an MCU today.
It took 3 versions of Spider-Man for him to do it, man. You know what I'm saying? Right? It took 3 versions. Hey, you got a question here, Dan, from Nadia Moran. He says, which is more sensitive to get, FF52 or Marvel Spotlight 2 through 4, Darkhold and Werewolf by Night? Your answer determines what I buy next month.
Okay. I hesitate to answer regarding, I don't know, whatever your preference is. There's no right or wrong answer. You get what you like. I got these because I like them. I didn't care about particular genre or whatever. I wanted to have this particular issue.
I love that book, bro.
I wanted to have this issue. I just kept collecting and collecting. But also, I would look for deals. That's the thing. If you're going to buy anything, including what you just suggested, look for a deal. Everything I have here was on a deal, but I was patient with it. I saved my money, and when the opportunity presented itself, I bought. But patience was the key. I mean, there were times over the last, since I restarted my collection over the last 8-9 years, I didn't have any money, which is okay. I didn't buy anything. I stuck to my budget. And because I stuck to my budget, the collection grew, and I didn't have to tap into it, which is the mistake that I and others have made when we were younger. You buy a book, then you...
Dan will come back in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on, Comcast.
Oh,
no, Dan,
there we go.
Wait,
no.
just as I said, I'm running out of money. Comcast cuts my line.
Get this guy out of here.
Yeah.
No, but
so, go ahead.
Dan. Keep going, Dan. No,
I'm just saying that the biggest key to any good collection is your research, being very, very patient with this, and also looking at the market and waiting for the deal when it presents itself. Now, of late, though, I've seen, and I'm certain you gentlemen have seen the same thing, scams. There's so much money in this particular market. They're popping up like you can't believe. And again, when I went to get this, I thought that's exactly what this was. This is too good to be true. But no, rarely you will find someone that will say, hey, I don't really care for this, or like this one here, I bet you anything. They were so disappointed in this. They didn't really take great care of this particular slab. You can't see it. There's minor little scratches and so forth. It's pretty minor, but I personally don't care. I'm happy this is in my collection, but someone else said, get rid of it, just move it. Or they need money. That's another thing. That's something else to look forward to in this upcoming year. The economy is kind of shaky. Some people are going to do okay. Some people are not going to do so okay, and they're going to have to sell things. And it's sad, but if you or someone of means, or if you happen to be in the right spot, you can pick up a pretty good deal. And that's the market. That's the market.
Yep. You got to be ready, man. I'm kind of getting dead. John knows I'm getting ready for that, man. It's coming. But you changed my mind with purple labels, man. John
Same here. I didn't even know it was a thing.
Yeah,
I
was like,
purple labels were a thing.
My thing is like, I'd avoid them. I'm like, I ain't touching that purple label. I saw some 181s that were purple label. I'm like, no,
When things were hot, everyone wants the best, okay? There was so much, I think, an overfocus on high grades, especially the 9.8. If it was a 9.8, people didn't want it. That's a mistake. That's a terrible mistake. I mean, if you can't afford the 9, if it was a 9.8 of this, and I think there's a few of these, believe it or not, that's probably, oh God, this is probably a $100,000 book. If it's in that high of a grade, I didn't have $100,000, but I did have the $300 to buy this, and yes, this is in my collection. So, but again, I didn't care what people. I didn't buy to impress anyone else. I bought because I loved collecting.
Did you buy less than a raw? Did you buy that one?
Oh God, yeah. Even the raw copies were for $1,000, and they were pieces of paper strung together. I mean, I'm surprised that the comic was intact. But this is such an iconic comic, I wasn't going to pass it up.
I bet you the guy was pissed. He's like, fucking purple label, man. Like, I'm just getting rid of this. Oh, and Dan's like, I'll take it.
Yeah, I'm very happy with that. Very happy with that purchase.
What do you think, John, about the purple label, man? John's an eclectic collector. He's you and Dan these are the master Jedis, is Dan and
we come from the same generation, so everything he was talking about, I was like, wow, it takes me back, and when I worked at an LCS and all that, and we were looking at Overstreet price guides and stuff. Purple labels, I can't get myself to really get a purple label, but after what you just explained, especially for that FF, that book is a hot book. It's hard to get in any grade at a lower price.
Right.
And that's a great way to get into Silver Age. I totally agree with what he's saying. Totally.
Me too, man.
I wouldn't do that with anything. With the Silver Age, Golden Age, all that stuff, I would do that. Yeah. Makes sense.
I agree with you on that on your DC book, man. On the first the first Justice, the first New Teen Titans. Yep, that one. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. I'd like to get a raw copy so I could read it. The only obviously the downside when you first get your slabs is you can't open them, and that's a problem.
That's why I usually just buy raw. I have like.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Ahead.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off, Kirk.
No,
go ahead.
So my question on that Teen Titans, as far as I remember, was it an insert in the comic book separately?
Again, this is the handicap of not having the raw copy. It says so. It says there is a 16-page preview. It's not a square-bound book.
Here's Kirk.
Yeah, Kirk, you've got one. You could answer that.
I'm gonna put you on blast, Kirk. Let's see. Hey, what the? I want to see this, man. You know, you guys are gonna get mad at me, but my boy Joel, he's out here in San Diego. He picked one up for $75 at the last San Diego.
Oh yeah, it's right here.
Oh, bro, he killed it. I was like, oh,
preview special.
Exactly.
Perfect.
There you go.
Yeah. See, that's great. So what I typically do is for every slab I get a raw copy to go with it, and if it's too expensive, like an Avengers 4, I'll get these Marvel Masterworks, you know, the hardbound comics.
I've seen those ones.
Yeah.
Look,
but,
you got a One Piece shirt.
I do. Oh, Luffy is the best.
But the contrast you had there, man, between the GSX and this is right on, bro. Like, this could, this book is just sitting there, for the picking right now,
But again, those are
Titans is a hot show.
It is, yeah. And you've got. I can say in my collection, I don't have any first appearances of DC characters. Now I can. Raven, Starfire, and Cyborg are not small characters, and I've got their first appearance.
I think that I think that's I'm not the first one to say it, but you said it before, and John would agree, and I think Kirk would agree. Like, DC's for the picking right now, man. All those Silver Age cases for the picking, bro. It's for the picking, man. Like, it's just 100. You should be picking those up. If they could get someone like a Feige that can move that narrative for DC into some type of cinematic universe, it's gonna take off, man. The company that, at least you would think, that the company that's running the DC movies sees what Disney has done with Marvel. Yeah. Disney bought Marvel Comics, most of Marvel. They still don't own the Hulk and a few other titles, but I think they paid $3 billion for it, and they've already tripled their money. So there's a ton of money into this, and so you've got even larger characters because, look, for a comic collector, the ultimate grail is Action Comics #1. No one will ever beat Superman. No one ever should. The 1-2 punch is Batman and Superman. So Detective 27, Action #1. You got first Flash, first Green Lantern, and then first Wonder Woman. Those are all elite grails. And on the Marvel side, it was Marvel Comics #1, Captain America #1, and so on and so forth. But DC has a ton of possibilities. Yep. But it's not easy to produce that much talent. I mean, I don't know if any of you do any music, if you have any musical background. If you do, well, you can tell that some people, like, I don't have any musical ability. Even if I tried, I just don't have it. And you can tell, you can appreciate someone that does have that talent. And some people are more consistent. Some people are good at this, and some people don't have it. And it's no different than a sports figure. So I love baseball. There's some guys I don't want to see on the mound. I know they're going to cough up the home. Yep. Dan will be back in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're on, Dan. Come on, Comcast.
There we go.
When I'm on the Tony Sanders show, I kind of have fun with this interruption with Comcast. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm from another dimension. I'm all.
Oh, that's so cool.
Comcast is listening, bro. They're like, no,
we hear you talking mess.
We hear him talking mess, bro. But yeah, man, the purple label, man. I mean, that really makes a lot of sense, dude. Like, people are disappointed by the grays they got and the purple label they got, man. So there's Dan. Go ahead, Dan.
Excuse me, I was looking for 2 cans and a string to set up, so I couldn't find it. Where was I with all this? With the talent I'm hoping this new Batman movie starts a trend. It looks promising.
That does look good.
Yeah, and the DC is starting to gain a little bit of traction here. Now, here's the thing: if they finally do, and I think we all think they're going to finally get together and finally get their act together. Now's the time to get the DC spec, the DC Silver Age, DC Bronze Age, because those stories are going to absolutely explode. And this is one of them. That's why I grabbed this. Because the other thing, too, is that they're focused in on younger audience. Yep. The young X-Men, a younger Fantastic Four, which actually didn't work. Teen Titans is perfect, a perfect segue to the younger audience.
And this right here, a comic Ozzy about, Teen Titan number 2, the first Vigilante. Man, Peacemaker's a hit, bro. Like, it's bigger than Book of Boba Fett, man. That I'm a big fan of. Dude, I can't wait till the next, was it Thursday or Friday when it comes out?
Right,
it's so
right,
good.
Right.
I haven't watched it. Is it really good?
It's good. Did you watch it, Ja? It's good, man. It's funny.
It's a good hit to DC. Yeah.
Nice.
Gunn put a lot of, there's a lot of comedy, but there's a lot of human things to it too at the same time.
I'm gonna have to watch it.
It's really good, dude. It's I like where it's going, and like Dan said, that could be the beginning is Peacemaker, right?
If they do what Stan Lee and Kirby did and introduce a human element to their characters, that resonates with the audience, because the example I keep using is we can't relate to coming from another planet and gaining super strength, or we haven't had our parents murdered in an alleyway. That's, of course, Superman and Batman. But we can relate to someone like Peter Parker when he was a kid. He was broke. He was nerdy. He couldn't talk to girls. He was nervous. We can all relate to that.
Yep.
So that's a human. And with the Fantastic Four, they're fighting with each other.
I'm playing.
Well, it was me. Yeah.
I'm no square there.
But those are components that we can all relate to. And when you look at everything across the board with Marvel, especially the Silver Age, these are all characters with flaws. And that was the human element that grabbed us.
Yeah, totally, man. But Dan, man, you blew our minds. I enjoyed how you started and how you got there, man. I appreciate, dude. We're just students here listening. I was just sitting here nodding my head the whole time. Wow, yeah, really, wow.
I'm definitely gonna save up for Avengers 57 now, because I'm working on the first Avengers books. And so, that's a book that I have to eventually go down and get.
I get it now, because at the height of WandaVision, the book I got was a nice mid grade. I paid $3.50 for it. That same book.
Way.
Oh, here comes the internet again.
Oh no!
But $3.50, that is definitely worth it.
All right, Dan. We're gonna get to Dan real quick. We're gonna check out because I know we're running. Hey, my even my PowerPoint's kind of there he goes. Ja, tell them where they can find you, bro.
Oh yeah, you guys can find me on IG, Comic Book Crackhead. Please give me a follow. I'll follow you back.
That's just a logo I created for him because he's coming up with his own logo. I was like, let me make a cool logo.
Yeah.
We all love Chappelle, bro. We all love Chappelle.
Yeah. He's great. Wow.
He always killed. Bro, I still watch the Chappelle show, man. I have it all.
Yeah.
On a cold day where I don't want to leave, I just put on the Chappelle show and I'm happy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So where can they find you?
Bigums.
Right, bro. Where can they find you? Or the blind what's the blind guy? The blind KKK.
Oh,
what's his name, bro?
Yeah.
That's funny, bro.
Yeah.
Remember him, bro? You don't even know.
No, I love when SNL did they did that segment where it was all of his different versions, and he was also playing the guy from what was it, The Walking Dead?
Yeah, bro.
The guy with the bat, that dude, and he was just going around and trying to figure out which version of Dave Chappelle to kill. He was one of them.
All right, where can they find you, Kurt?
Yeah, you guys can find me on Instagram, Mindshift, and then I'm also I do YouTube, Comics of the Mind. I do a show with the Not Near Mint crew, with Rob and Ace and Lady Fantastic, and we're we do our thing there. So.
And then Dan, where can the folks find you, bro?
Well, you mentioned Lady Fantastic. She's an alum from the Tony Sanders Show. What a great show that is!
Oh,
I love Tony Sanders, man. That show's a riot, bro. It's
Every
a riot,
Friday,
bro.
baby.
I love it, man. I love that show, bro.
I created a persona called the Ancient One, and it's just morphed into its own thing. And now I'm coming up with a second character called Dan Dilatory, Attorney at Law. So
No.
so
awesome.
yeah. So I'm the Ancient One's lawyer. We're in a lawsuit. We're having all kinds of fun with it. So
I know. I was there when Dan. Thank you for giving doing some advertising for the show. I appreciate you. And Tony asked when I'll be back on. Tony, whenever you need me on, bro, just give me a holler, bro. Let's go, man. I got some books. For the show finally. I want to win one, man. I want to become a contender.
Well, let's have all three of you gentlemen on here. All three of you are good collectors.
Bro.
Yeah, we could have a team. We could have a 4-man tag team. Why not? I like it.
But I still need to get a couple books back from CGC, so it might take a year. You know what I'm saying? So these books are our team will be unstoppable, man. Unstoppable.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Anytime.
I like it.
But Tony, man, anytime you need us on, man, I'm down, bro. It's a fun show. It's
a great show.
It's probably the best show on YouTube, man.
It's fun.
It's fun, man. And then I want to let y'all know, man, that my interview with Laura Martin, the lovely Laura Martin from Atlanta, Georgia, man, she's gonna be on my show. She's awesome, man. She's on A-Force. She's done Black Panther. She's done Star Wars. She's one of the best colorists in the business, man. And she'll be on. I interviewed her at a con, and she'll be on Wednesday. And also something tragically happened in our community, man. The comic asylum out there in Palm Desert was broken into. It's the same guy that they're thinking that broke into SoCal Comics too in San Diego, man.
Well, man.
So this is
I want to give a little shout out to Comic Asylum. Chicks over there. This is a mom and pop store, and she's treated me very well. For the last year, I bought some stuff from her as well. And it's really sad to see someone go into, a family-owned business and take stuff. It's not cool. So if anybody sees these comics out there, and follow them first of all. I mean, they're a mom and pop store. We should all support local comic stores. But if you see these slabs out there, report them. That's the way I see it. Hopefully, she'll post some serial numbers and stuff.
There's only one of these. This is Chick actually as Silk. And this is a sketch.
Okay.
If you see this out in the wild or out this on Craigslist or OfferUp or wherever, or if you're a comic book store, that the guy that has this book stole from them for sure. Yep. For sure.
Yeah.
And I think that's when I first met Chick, she showed me this book. This is one of her favorite books. Like a sketch of herself, man, as Silk. But yeah, man, it's sad, man. Like you were talking about, Dan, like the scams and all this other stuff that's happening within the comic book community and and sellers and buyers and whatever. It's getting nuts, man. But
I've had books stolen before. Crap. Just as we get on Comcast.
We can hear you.
I'll be back.
No, he'll be back in 12 seconds, I think. He'll be back in 12 seconds.
Yeah, I haven't had any
he's
books
in that
stolen,
multiverse.
Yeah. He'll be back
he's in the
this
multiverse,
dimension
man.
in just a second.
Yeah, but the thing about it, man,
here we go. All right, let me before it cuts out again. I've had some books stolen. The worst one was All Winners number 19. That's from 1946. That is the first ever Marvel Super Team.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And back then, it was like 35 years ago. If I called the police, some guy would show up and say, "That's a comic book. It's worth $100. Who cares?" Today, that's probably a $5,000 to $6,000 book. Yeah. And there's only one of 100 of them. They're really scarce.
Wow. Yeah, it's just pretty sad, man. It's pretty sad. These cats that are part of the community are doing this to the shops we love, especially they're all mom and pop shops, man. Like they're all mom and pop shops. Yeah. And these are family ran businesses that depend on those books to provide for their family. So I don't know, man. F you to this dude, man. I hope we can find him. I hope we can get those slabs back for Chick and her family. But yeah, man, we appreciate you, Chick, man. We got you back. But that's about it for our first Monday night comic book jive, man. I had a lot of fun. We learned a lot. We picked up a lot of good books, and this is the crew right here, man. This is the foundation. This is when we first started this in the beginning. This is beta. It's just gonna get better from here. We're gonna have a bunch of different segments and even different guests that are gonna come on, so we can start your Monday off right, man. But I appreciate you, Dan. I appreciate you, Kirk. I appreciate you, Jaw. And I'm Hoodrat. You're Hoodrat. What? We all Hoodrats, man. And we out, bro. Thank you for coming. And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Take care, everyone.
Every other Monday. And we'll check y'all later.